Hello and welcome to Zwift Academy Finals.
Sorry. Do you mind? That's kind of...
No, sorry, Si. That's my job now.
OK, all right, yeah, go on.
Welcome to Zwift Academy Finals.
Welcome back to Zwift Academy Finals.
This is episode 2, and in it, we're going to be putting our pro cycling hopefuls through their paces in a very different way.
Come on, up. Yes, come on.
I think I can win.
If I didn't think I could win, I would not be here.
These 8 riders are the cream of the crop, the best of the 100,000 people who entered the Zwift Academy, a global talent search using the virtual cycling platform Zwift. In episode 1, the contestants faced their first ride at the pro training camps of Alpecin-Deceuninck and Canyon SRAM Zondacrypto. Having already spent hours in the saddle, they had to take on a grueling fitness test.
In both the men's and women's camps, 2 front runners have emerged.
In the men's, the Canadian rider Noah and the Italian Mathieu were more powerful in their fitness tests. In the women's, another Canadian rider Anabelle dominated the shorter sprint efforts, whereas young Australian rider Emily emerged as the best on the longer 8-minute effort, just ahead of Slovenian rider Tjaša.
However, that was just test number 1.
It's all very well having a huge engine on the opening day of the finals, but the question is, can they maintain similar power after all the fatigue and stress that life at the Zwift Academy Finals throws at them?
Yeah, time will tell. Today, though, as we said, they face a different type of challenge, one looking at technique as much as physique. It's an aspect of cycling that is absolutely critical in the pro ranks, but it's one where we don't yet know how our finalists shape up.
No. I mean, the very reason these Zwift Academy Finals exist is to test the aspects of cycling that Zwift itself as a platform can't. And today, that means bike handling skills.
Yeah, have they got them, and are they sharp enough for life in the pro peloton?
One slip, either literally or metaphorically, and it could be all over.
Oh, not quite that serious.
No, probably not that bad.
Bit of gravel rash.
This year, both Alpecin-Deceuninck and Canyon SRAM Zondacrypto have incorporated the Zwift Academy finalists into their pre-season training camps. They are being held in different locations though, so it's time to split up.
Good morning, finalists. So from the riding that you've already done on Zwift and on the roads here, our coaches now know exactly how strong you all are. So today, it's your bike handling skills that are going to be under the microscope. So you're going to ride now to a venue where the coaches are then going to clearly be able to see your technique under a little bit of pressure. We'll see you out there. Good luck. The finalists are riding to a racetrack, and here they will be put to the test. Firstly as a group, and then as individuals, where they will face a time trial around a short course packed full of sharp corners. Each rider against the clock, the fastest wins. This is going to test their bike handling skills just as much as their strength and fitness, because these are no F1 circuits. These are tight, technical kart tracks. And so if there's any weakness in their bike handling skills, our coaches are going to be able to spot it straight away. The riders are going to need to be fast and smooth through these corners, and they're going to need to take it right up to the limit.
Finalists, we brought you to a go-kart track, not to test your driving skills. This is Zwift Academy, not Gran Turismo Academy. But there's a lot more that goes into being a World Tour cyclist than power output alone. We know your power outputs are very much above average. That's why you're here in the first place. But today, the Alpecin coaches are going to be looking at your bike handling skills, your speed around this track, your entry and exit points of the corners, how you go through the apex. Even your lean angle is going to be under the microscope. A word of warning though, I really want you to listen to this and take it on board. What Alpecin don't want is to take on a rider that they think might spend more time at home injured than out racing for the team. So this is about going fast, but in a controlled fashion. You need to try and find the limits, but not go over them, okay? So you'll have 10 or 15 minutes to get acquainted with the course. You'll be able to follow Mathieu van der Poel and the other pros around and see how their lines are. I wish you the best of luck, but make sure you stay safe.
Yeah, we're here at a go-karting track, I think. It looks like to do some handling, some skills practice, see how the cornering is for everyone.
It should be fun. I think it's a good challenge. Yeah, test our all-round abilities, and I'm super excited. The track looks beautiful and smooth roads. I'm excited to race it.
I feel quite good leg-wise. I mean, a little bit nervous for this challenge because wet roads are not my specialty.
Should be a pretty spicy one.
The guys are just heading out on those opening 10 or 15 minutes of practice laps to get acquainted with the course. We didn't catch it on camera, but Noah has actually already hit the deck, despite the warning that I gave him, despite the warning that Christoph also gave him before starting out. So there isn't that much grip on a couple of the corners, and Noah's already gone over the limit rather than just trying to go up to it.
I mean, like, the hand is pretty sore. Like, I ripped up the skin pretty good.
Elliot's literally just crashed, and it looks quite nasty. He's still down on the ground at the moment, on the very same corner that Noah crashed on about 15 minutes ago, so that's obviously a slippery one. So the two guys actually who were looking fastest have not only found the limits, they've both gone over them.
Yeah, okay. Just, it was wet on the inside of the corner. I wasn't even going fast. I was just trying to test a different line on it, and I think I caught water on the inside of it. Arms into there. It happens.
After Noah and Elliot received some first aid, they were given another 10 minutes to get themselves familiar with the course. But before their first challenge of setting a hot lap, the coaches, Christoph and Christoph, wanted to see how the finalists behaved when following the wheel of one of their pro riders. This is to allow the coaches to see how the finalists handled their bike in a controlled environment and how quickly they can learn from the best. Can they take something from the pros' line choice and apply that to their hot lap? First up to go around the course are Elliot and Freddie on Mathieu van der Poel's wheel.
In the wheel! Closer!
The finalists are given 5 laps to follow MVDP, and right from the off, they're pleasantly surprised about Elliot's performance, but concerned about Freddie's.
He's again on the wrong line, eh? He was in the wheel first 2 laps, and he's always taking other lines. He does not see, and then he is on a gap immediately. It's getting worse, and he's always on the wrong line, always.
Elliot is doing quite good.
Yeah.
Next up, Noah and Mathieu. They'll be following classic specialist and former gravel world champion Gianni Vermeers. The coaches are immediately impressed with Noah's ability to hold onto Gianni's wheel despite his earlier crash. However, they've got similar concerns with Mathieu as they had with Freddie. Mathieu seems to be taking a different line choice and probably because of that, isn't able to stick to the wheel in front.
Meanwhile, back in Portugal, the female finalists are first tackling the track as a group. The coaches want to see how well they can hold the wheel of the rider in front through fast and difficult corners. So each finalist will take 1 lap on the front and try to distance their rivals.
I think this will be a very good test for us because the backhandling is important in the group, but you know how is it? Much more difficult in the peloton as in alone in the breakaway. If you are not enough confident, coming the bad things.
And the technical bit is just coming up here. So these corners at the bottom. Whoa. Oh, wow. A couple of wheels let go, weren't there? Emily's just let the wheel go, didn't she?
Maybe she don't trust in Tjaša. The trust is very important here.
Great job, girls. Last lap. Oh, wow.
Something is happening with Tjaša.
Yeah, she really let the wheel go, didn't she? What are you thinking then? First impressions?
You could see Tjaša already here. She's really not comfortable riding in this narrow strip.
Great job.
Mathieu, when somebody's naturally very talented at stuff, sometimes it can be hard to explain what's going on in your own mind when you're tackling. But we want to kind of get a masterclass of how you would tackle corners like we're seeing here today. We don't normally get a go-kart track, but generally, when you're approaching a corner in a classics race, what's going through your mind in terms of the line you take, braking, etc.?
Yeah, I think the basic rule is you go outside, inside, outside. But for me, the biggest thing is just try to be as smooth as possible. I think maybe it's from cyclocross, but it doesn't make sense to sprint towards a corner and then brake as hard as possible, and then you have to get the momentum again.
You've got a lot of experience off-road, obviously. There's a big difference, isn't there? Because cornering off-road, your wheels can slip, but you know they're going to grip again.
That's the thing I miss most about the road. Like in cyclocross or mountain bike, you can basically push too hard in a corner, and like you said, the wheels start slipping, but you can control it. But here, if you go too fast and the wheels slip, you're on the ground. So that's the biggest difference, and it makes that you cannot push over the limit.
Okay, finalists, so far so easy, right? Hopefully. Anyway, next, the coaches want you to do one lap on your own as fast as you possibly can against the clock, okay? So not only are you going to need to sprint out of every corner, you're going to need to nail every exit, hit every apex, and generally do the lap of your lives, okay? Before you start, though, we're going to see how it's done from Zoe. She's going to set you a benchmark.
Zoe Bäckstedt is one of the star riders in the Canyon SRAM Zondacrypto World Tour team. Just 20 years of age, she is a powerhouse of a rider. A multi-time world champion as a junior and as an under-23, she picked up her first World Tour win in 2024.
Okay, Zoe, go, go, go! Oh my God, she's absolutely pinning it. Time to beat, 56.63. Talk me through it, right? Cornering technique. So first things first, how do you judge how fast to hit a corner? What are you looking for before you get there?
Looking for the angle of the corner, how sharp it is. The wind, especially today, it's playing a lot into it. So for the first corner, let's say, you can come into it a little bit faster because when you turn, the wind hits you and slows you down anyway. Looking for not braking too late, not braking too early coming into it, trying to just carry the speed, inside pedal up, obviously, all of that stuff.
And if you got one piece of advice for the finalists on this track, what would you say?
Watch out for the double switchback and the left turn after, because, may or may not have scraped my pedal there 1 or 2 times.
Did you? Fair play.
Pushing it to the limit.
For the women's hot lap, each contestant is able to take one final look at the circuit before having a rolling start. First up, it's Anabelle.
Who's your money on, guys?
I think the winner will be Anabelle.
Zoltan?
Me too, because in the first 4 laps, she was very confident in the corners and very fast. I think she will be the fastest between the finalists.
Okay, Adam?
I think the same.
Okay, here we go. He's going for it.
She's in the TT position again.
Pretty good. But she's really giving it some, isn't she? Whoa. That's a good time.
So these corners were actually tighter than I thought. I had more speed. So I was like sprinting corner. But I'm sure all the times will be super close. It's so short.
First impressions then, one rider down, Anabelle. That looked fast, right?
Yeah, that was an incredible time.
Next against the clock, it's Tjaša.
She's not really comfortable riding in this narrow strip here. You can already see in the warm-up that she's not taking in one line the corners, which is quite a big mistake. Pop. Yeah, this is the trickiest corner over there down, but actually she managed quite well. I would say better than Anabelle. So far, actually, not so bad, and it's not so bad cornering.
Is that big gear again?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
That was faster than I was thinking she was going to do.
Yeah, she was surprised.
I started cycling back in 2013 in a local club. We trained together with the boys. It got more serious. I was racing in Team BTC City Ljubljana Scott. And then in 2024, I tried out gravel.
I remember her cycling beginnings. At the age of 10, she had a kid's bike and could only ride on a 200 meters local road leading to the main street. And in this way, she managed to cover about 800 kilometers in one single season. And after that, she told us she wanted to train for road cycling.
I enjoy hard races with short and punchy climbs, like steep, and especially if the race ends with a short climb.
As parents, we wanted to introduce Tjaša to many different sports during her childhood. However, we never thought that she would focus on just one sport and train seriously for it.
I think all the other finalists are really strong. Maybe the biggest competitor could be Anabelle. She's really strong at all efforts and she has quite some racing experience as well. For sure, I'm ready for fight. I think we have to be.
Our third rider is Emma.
So what are we thinking, guys? Emma?
He said 102, 101.
Yeah?
Let me see what's happened, but I think she will be good.
Okay, here we go. Bit slower on the descent.
Now she's actually picking up some speed on uphill. Let's see the end result.
She's the only one who's pedaled through that corner as well. That was a good time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And particularly on the way back.
And finally, our last contestant to go against the clock is Emily.
So Emily, I think, was struggling a little bit riding around. What are you expecting from her now?
She left some gaps when they were riding one by one. So let's see her cornering skills. And let's see the hot lap now. Didn't carry so much speed into the start.
Oh no. Although actually, to be fair, she was fast down there.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
And this is where she is truly fast and powerful on the uphill section. So let's see the time, which is quite good.
Look at this, guys.
Ooh. Yep.
I did not expect that.
It was not looking like that.
Maybe just 1 minute, but this is extremely big surprise.
I just focus on me, do the best I can, and yeah, just see how that goes.
Oh, do I feel ready? I don't think anything could prepare me. I have no clue what's gonna happen, so I guess we'll see. Yeah, so I've always ridden bikes since I was very young. We've always ridden like mountain bikes. So we'd go out for a lot of like cycling holidays. I didn't really like it. I used to be the one to cry on all the trips, but I'm happy they pushed me through it. I really enjoy it now. Started racing when I was 15. My first race was the state champs. I didn't really know what I was doing. I'd never raced or ridden really in a group, and so I had no clue. But it was a good learning experience. Yeah, and then from there I wanted to keep going. Yeah, so the World Championships this year, it was nothing like I've ever experienced before. It was the biggest race definitely that I've done. It was weird, like soaking in the moment. It was just something, like seeing the crowds all lined up and like they're all there to watch us. It was, it's crazy. I found out one of my fellow finalists was a teammate when we were trying to figure out how I was going to get into the country. When they told me that Emma was going to be with me, I was so happy. We're very good friends on and off the bike, and we have healthy competition between us, but we can also put that behind us as well and just be really great mates. It's a bit surreal. I keep like pinching myself. I'm not entirely sure like how I got here, but I'm here.
And now time for the men's, where none other than Mathieu van der Poel will be setting a benchmark time for one lap on what is still a very damp and slick track.
1, go!
And as if it wasn't technical enough, the Christophs have tightened it up even further by coning off certain areas. Van der Poel posts a time of 1:00.24, but Gianni Vermeers also set a lap time. And with it, he takes his first win of the season, going 11/100ths of a second faster than his teammate.
Gianni, how are you feeling? First win of the year?
Well, I have no words to beat him. It's one of the nicest days of my life.
With the pros wrapping up their hot laps, it's time for the contestants to get stuck in.
Now I'm quite nervous, but we'll see. I think the most important thing is to not crash and stay upright.
It's kind of nerve-wracking because you can see how fast they're going in. I guess that's sort of the limit. Maybe there's a bit more to be found, but you don't want to push it too hard and go down, which I guess I already have today, so.
Up first, it's Freddie.
3, 2, 1, and go.
Freddie didn't look comfortable sitting on the wheel, but he's not spent much time riding on the road, so perhaps he'll prefer choosing his own lines. With the track drying out, Freddie is looking more confident through the bends.
Yes, that's it. And now push again, push.
Through the chicane and out the other side, he's quick to get out of the saddle and up to speed on the straightest part of the course, and then there's just one long sweeping left-hander to go.
Yes, come on, that's it. Up, up.
Three, 2, 1, go.
On to Noah, who's already crashed, remember. However, if the first corners are anything to go by, that hasn't shaken his confidence. Out of the chicane, and he's sprinting out of the saddle to get up to top speed, and he's visibly going faster into that final sweeping bend.
Don't break, don't break, don't break. Go! Hey, up, 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 up.
Three, 2, 1, go!
Next up, it's Mathieu. Undoubtedly an incredibly strong rider, he's proven that time and time again, but this is a test of skill more than power. Through the early corners, he's not looking fully committed, and he's riding on the hoods rather than down on the drops. Appearances can be deceptive though, the proof will be in his final lap time.
Yes, come on, that's it. Up, up.
Coming into the final corner, he's gone down onto the drops, but he's having a little trouble keeping his line.
Faster, 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 come on!
3, 2, 1, and go!
And finally, it's Elliot's turn. He too is bearing the scars of an earlier tumble, but he's looking pretty solid through the first series of corners. He seems to be picking his lines well and carrying speed nicely through the bends.
Come on, come on, come on, up, 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 up. Keep it going, come on. Come on, don't break, come on, up.
Through the last corner, and he's riding a little wide most of the way round, but he does hit the apex at the end.
Okay, finalists, first of all, you were looking great out there. That was seriously, seriously impressive. I have with me the results, okay? When there's a time trial, there are inevitably the results. So, first of all, the benchmark time set by Zoe Bäckstedt, 56.63 seconds. Now, your times. In fourth place, Tjaša with a time of 1:02.36. So keeping Zoe Bäckstedt, one of the best time trialists on the planet, to just 6 seconds, I think that's pretty blooming impressive. In third place, it's Emma, 1:02.08. In second place, with a time of 59.42, Anabelle. Meaning that, Emily, you were the fastest with 58.57. So all of you, brilliantly done. But Emily, that was a seriously fast time, less than 2 seconds back on Zoe Bäckstedt. So anyway, well done all of you. Get back to the hotel, get recovered. I'm going to talk to the coaches.
I didn't expect to be the fastest, no, not at all. My cornering skills, I definitely feel like I've improved over this year doing a bit of racing in Europe, but that was a tough course. I feel like the corners are so close to each other. You don't have a lot of time to reposition yourself in the best position coming out of one into the next one. So you don't have a lot of time to think about it. You kind of just have to go.
Finalists, well done. It's been a very, very interesting morning watching you all out there on the go-kart track. Before I get onto your times, I'm going to give you the times of Gianni Vermeersch and Mathieu van der Poel. So Mathieu did a 1:00.24. Gianni did a 1:00.13, so slightly quicker. I've just been speaking to Mr. van der Poel though, and he wants me to point out the track got much, much drier and much quicker from the time he set his lap to the time you did yours. So with that in mind, I'm going to go in a reverse order with your own times. In fourth place, it's Mathieu. You did a 1:04.72 lap time. In third place, Elliot. You did a 1:02.58. So, in second place, Freddie. You did a 1:0.78. And so, of course, Noah, you were the fastest with a time of 58.32 seconds. So well done to you, Noah.
I don't think it changes much, but it, I think, shows that I have the skills as a rider to just handle myself on the road. And even, I guess the judges also saw me crash, so bounce back and not be too rattled from it.
I mean, I feel like it went quite good. I did a fast time going comfortably to the corners. I didn't want to crash. Two of the guys crashed, so I wanted to avoid that. I think it's pretty much between me and Noah for sure, but like Zwift Academy, anything can happen.
That was good to watch, first of all, wasn't it? But in fourth place, we had Tjaša. Gosia, what did you make of that ride?
She's very lighty cyclist. For that, I think she did very good, like her physical things.
When we watched them riding around as a group, Adam, there was a bit of concern about whether she was comfortable holding the wheel.
Yeah, exactly. But we saw that she was actually making some gaps. And what we also saw that the other riders were not really comfortable riding behind her.
And Emma, as you say, not much in front of her.
Yeah.
She was pretty quick going down the hill and then I think just lost it coming back up again. But she looked really smooth out there, I thought.
Obviously, her physical level is not on the level with the others at the moment, but her technical skills was quite good.
Are her technical skills enough to offset that physical gap, do you think, at the moment?
At the moment, yes, and we can see it also from the results that she was a third rider, so as we could see, we were timed the descent, and in the descent she was one of the quickest.
And what about Anabelle? I sense that she might be disappointed with second place today. I think she thought she was going to win that one. What did you make of her performance?
Anabelle was, for us, before the start, our favorite, because we saw she have very good technical skills. But for sure, it was for her surprise she lost this race.
Emily was really frustrated with her performance. She kept talking about how she messed up those corners, which, you know, looked from the drone shot that she really did. But she was fast, wasn't she?
Yeah. I think Emily, even though she's the youngest, surprisingly, like, looking on it, it was not the best look, not the best technique, but she was fast.
So what do you guys need to see now? Are you interested in seeing the numbers, the power data from Anabelle and Emily, or for you, is Emily the rider of the day?
I would say still Anabelle, because in my opinion she was more fluid, and this is what we are looking for.
Okay, and what about you, Gosia? Do you agree?
No, I agree. For that, maybe the problem in warm-up of Emily, when she loses sometimes the wheels, maybe she didn't trust of Tjaša. Maybe she can have problems in peloton.
Guys, I feel like it was a very successful day. I've learned a lot, but I've also got a lot of questions for you both. Firstly, Chris, I've seen you laugh twice today. I feel you're at risk of ruining your reputation as the bad boy of cycling. Anyway, we'll move on from that. I'm going to start even before the hot laps. So we saw them practicing. It looked like two of the guys were already quicker, but those two, being Noah and Elliot, both crashed before they even set the hot laps. What did you make of that and the fact that when they were behind the pros, there were some gaps opening up and others were keeping the gap shut?
Yes, correct, but I think Mathieu even led bigger gaps with the pros. So we had two crashes, but probably they also found out then at that moment where their limits were a bit on that moment.
How much do you think the contestants learnt when they were behind Mathieu and Gianni in terms of the lines, and did anyone learn quicker than anybody else?
I think the first pace they had something like, it's quite, for some guys, like for Mathieu, who left always a bit of a gap. We were then asking ourselves, does he do this on purpose because of safety reasons? When we see the times in general now, it was just of not being capable of really following that pace, I guess.
Well, let's go through some of the times, because there are actually some fairly significant differences, really, in the times. So Mathieu, as I just mentioned to them, he was the slowest, 1:04.72, the fastest being Noah at 58 seconds. So that's a difference of 6.4 seconds, which is over 10%.
He kept being slow, actually, Mathieu, so it's not something you can easily solve, I think, for him.
Do you think he was just trying too hard not to crash?
Yes,
to
that was the
safe?
thing.
'Cause that's what we told him.
He
Yeah?
told me that he did not want to take any risk and that he was trying to be careful, but there's a difference between not taking risks, being careful, and what he did, I guess.
Any further thoughts on Freddie? You mentioned that he was off the wheel slightly when he was following your pro riders around. In terms of his times in the end, they weren't too bad, were they?
Yeah, I think Freddie and Elliot were about the same on general lap times, and also when we just watched that one big corner, they were very close to each other, those two.
Okay. Who do you think improved the most from the start to the end of the challenges today?
In my opinion, Noah, because he started with a crash, and starting from a crash in the warm-up, and then building up again some kind of confidence, building up the pace, and then ending with fastest lap. Yeah.
And with Elliot, as we know, he's only just got into cycling 18 months ago.
Yes, and especially because he's starting on the wrong gear, he's shifting on the wrong moment. He does a lot of things wrong.
Yeah, if he can catch all those small things up,
he loses a lot of speed during for nothing.
So to finish, I am going to put you both on the spot again and ask you, you know what's coming, I'm going to ask you to name a rider of the day if you had to choose one.
For me, Noah.
Yeah.
Seems fairly obvious, doesn't it? It's hard to pick anybody else.
Yeah, for two reasons. Best times, and that after that crash, mentally,
yeah.
Well, Dan, I think you might be in Christoph Rudolph's bad books. He did not seem to like you pointing out that he had smiled twice.
I know, and I haven't seen him smile since. And I'm not sure I'm ever going to see him smile again.
Not at you, mate.
If I'm perfectly honest. But to be fair, they had something to smile about on that go-kart track today, didn't they? Particularly with Noah, who was very impressive. I mean, we often say that mountain bikers transitioning to the road are impressive, their technical ability transfers over, but he's a particularly good example of that.
He is, even with a bit of road rash, isn't he? I mean, how slippery was it? It looked treacherous.
It was slippery enough that I gave us a 1% chance of actually doing that challenge when I first got there earlier on today.
Leave it to our Belgian director sportifs to make it go ahead.
Yeah, they said it was fine.
Oh, that's quality. But talk us through Mathieu then, because, I mean, to be frank, he looked like he was absolutely creeping, didn't he?
He kind of was. It was sort of perplexing, really. I got the impression that either A, he didn't want to fully commit for whatever reason, or that B, he just didn't see it as a proper challenge. And I hope it wasn't B, because I know the coaches got a hell of a lot out of what they saw there today, because that's cycling skill laid bare, isn't it? You don't often get to see it in that sort of way, but there are so many corners in pro road racing, and to have them all in a go-kart track like that, it really exposed the differences between them.
Yeah, absolutely. And we should also say, Gianni Vermeersch is going to be thrilled with that one, getting one over his old mate Mathieu van der Poel.
I know, a win's a win, isn't
Absolutely,
it?
from one gravel world champ to another.
Exactly, I think that will set him up for the season, surely. Talk us through the women's.
Well, we've got a really interesting dynamic in the women's today, because Emily set the fastest time, but yet Anabelle was picked as rider of the day.
I know, I saw that. How did that happen?
Well, so when we dived into the data afterwards, Emily had clearly put out much more power during her lap, which was in and of itself a surprise, actually, given how much Anabelle had dominated those shorter efforts in episode 1. But the fact was, it's a technical challenge, and Emily was just looking a little bit less composed through the corners. She was struggling to hold the wheel sometimes, riding in a group. So that's why I think the judges were genuinely more impressed with what Anabelle had to offer today.
It's always really interesting, isn't it, seeing what the judges are actually looking for in the finalists at the Zwift Academy finals. Well, as important as today's challenge was, it is just one of many, isn't it? And actually in the next episode, they're going to be facing two. No one's out of the equation in the picture just yet, but the coaches are really starting to form their impressions now of the strengths and weaknesses of all of the finalists, aren't they? Right, make sure you join us for the next episode then. It's going to be a cracker.
It is. Subscribe to GCN and hit the bell icon so that you do not miss it.
In episode 3, the male contestants take on the Alpecin-Deceuninck lead-out train.
Yeah, I can't mess up today.
While the women are again pitted against Zoe Bäckstedt, but this time on a climb, head to head.
Oh, is she coming round her?
One after the other. They were all coming for me.
And then finally, all the contestants march into the Zwift arena for a special kind of race where they will line up not as rivals, but as teammates in support of some very special guests.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
That's not your job. That's my job now. No.
Yeah, exactly.
This is mine now.
Oh my God, she's absolutely pinning it. Wow.